Welcome back to the question and answer session with Eralia and Anna Dimitriou, where if you missed the last episode, the link, if you're watching this on YouTube, the link will be right above Eralia's head, where you can click that and go to, you can go back and watch our discussion on Star Citizen as an experience. The Star Citizen experience, how it works now, how can it be improved, so on and so forth. And yeah, we're taking questions and answers from the chat. As always, make sure you're checking out Eralia and Anna on their Twitches, their YouTubes, and their Twitters and other social medias. Catch their content. Fantastic content, worth your time, worth your effort, worth your subscription. And these questions are from chat specifically, and there's a lot of them because I've been watching it, and it's been quite a number. 25 questions. So let's jump right into it and try to answer these questions. These questions are either asked individually to the whole cast, to individual members of the cast, and there'll be some variety though. So the first question is from Gin and Tonic, who says, "Ladies and Paul, my first gasp moment in Star Citizen was walking onto the landing pad at Port Olisar and looking at the rings and Crusader. What was yours? What was your first just take your breath away moment in Star Citizen?"
Does anyone go?
I can go if you don't. My first moment was that moment of stepping out onto the pad at Port Olisar and looking up and seeing just the size of Crusader and the rings spinning around. That was my moment. Just like, wow. That's when the moment of like the size of this game hit me. It's like, this is, especially after at that point I'd been only playing like Arena Commander. So like seeing just the sheer scope of the game, it's just like, wow.
You went straight into Arena Commander?
I was, well, this was before I started playing before the PU was a thing.
I was going to say before hangers and all of that, because this is like old school. Yeah.
Oh, crap. Right.
Well, yeah. I'm fresh in the last couple and a half years.
Yeah.
And I think mine was definitely pulling out of the hangar onto New Babbage. Seeing New Babbage, like all the buildings and everything. Honestly, it was sensory overload. I think it was nighttime and I had to do a box mission. I think I crashed in the hangar also the first time. But anyways, yeah, it's sensory overload. It was just like the coolest thing. The coolest thing. I will never forget that experience.
Anna?
My first time playing Star Citizen, I was actually with Gal off stream. I think I was recording it, but I wasn't live. And he probably remembers this as well. It was, I think it was when I was on the train. The train blew my mind. I was stood at the front. He told me to stand at the front of the train at Microtech. And just the train going past and seeing everything like flying by and the graphics and like feeling like I was actually traveling somewhere, that I think was probably the first moment. Yeah. It's weird, but it was the train. Yeah.
The train still gets me. Every so often I'll still get that moment where I'm like, I'm doing something in Star Citizen and like the light hits right, or I'm just sitting there and my brain just goes, damn, this game is pretty. Just like it feels right. Like, wow, I feel like I'm on a train, even though Lorville is like grungy piece of garbage. It's like I've been on trains like this in real life. I've been on grungy subway trains that like it just feels disgusting. I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm actually there. This feels like that experience, you know? So yeah. All right. Next question comes from Velociraptor, who asks, "Are you going to update your fleet next week at IAE? Are you looking at any ships for IAE that you're going to pick up?" I personally am not, so.
No.
I need to know the backstory. Why are you both so on it with that? Why is it both a no straight away?
I don't need any more ships right now. There's nothing that's catching my eye. There's nothing that I'm like really wanting at the moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm same. I've got pretty much all the ships that I really want to purchase. Every kind of a thing I want to get in game. And the one thing that's really cool that's coming out that we know of is the Corsair. And I already have a Corsair. So I'm looking forward to that, but I already own it. So I don't have to pay to pay for it. So
do you have to buy stuff at the showroom? Can you buy it with in-game money, but then if there's a wipe, that disappears?
Some of the ships, yes. All of the ships that are in game you can purchase with in-game money, except for a handful because they usually just get released.
But those are the ones that disappear with a patch wipe, right? And then the ones that you buy with your money, they don't go.
Yes. So, okay. And the advantage is that with IAE you can rent all the ships for free. So
that is true.
Like, why not? How about you, Anna? Are there any ships that you're looking at, like looking to purchase for IAE?
I don't know why I have the ships that I have. I don't know how they got there. I don't. Sometimes someone asks me, why do you have how many ships? Why did you get so many ships? And I honestly don't know how I got them. I think everybody has been so lovely, especially at the beginning when I first started streaming the game, and I didn't know what anything was. A lot of the people that helped, first of all, obviously the PC was crowdfunded, so everything. I think in part of my induction to the game was people, I think, sending me things that they think that I would like. So I've had stuff so generously given to me that I've used. The only thing I bought with my money was the Herald paint pack, because I needed to have that. That was important. It was important that I had the blue and the white paint for the Herald.
As a Drake fan, I approve. As a Drake fan, I approve. Yeah. So
otherwise, I think I'm utterly spoiled in the hangar. I have more ships than I possibly could need, and I can't imagine needing anything else, honestly.
Gal asks, what is your favorite ship and why is it everything but the Herald? Just because you said that, Gal,
I saw that.
It's the Herald, Gal. That's the answer now because you said that. It's the Herald.
So I have an emote. Oh my god, it's in the chat now. I have an emote called Herald Hype, which is the Herald being celebrated, and then Gal has like almost a combative emote, which is the Herald blowing up. What's your favorite ship, Eralia? Do I know this?
I think it's the Saber.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
I keep coming back to it because I just think it's beautiful. It looks like an actual fighter. Yeah, it's like less spacey. It's a fighter with a little bit of space on it. Yeah, I just love that thing.
It looks like it could actually fly in modern day sort of like planes. Yeah.
That and the Cutlass.
Yes, I will say the Cutlass is my favorite, honestly, because no matter what I do, I fly other ships, I do other thing. I always come back to the Cutlass. The Cutlass is just so utilitarian. It's just so good for what it does.
I call her my Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, it's just a good ship. I mean, yeah, you blow up, you die, but like, how many of you are actually ejecting from your seats anyways right now? And no one's doing that. All right, next question comes from I am Bumblebee, who asks, what's a VHS? Eralia, what is a VHS? Since this was your response.
Is this in reference to
it's
Wednesday,
a very heavy
Bumble?
system, VHS.
Because she said she watched growing up, she watched Star Wars on VHS. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a Zoomer joke because no one
video home system.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, sorry I interrupted you, Anna. I was just so proud of myself because I was trying to come up with a quirky acronym. I was like, what could I? Very heavy system.
Yes.
Very heavy system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vicious home sloth.
Han.
Very Han system.
Very Han system.
All right. Next question comes from Unknown Guardian, who asks to everyone, how would you design the new player experience, or what would you think is the most important for new players to get bopped on the nose for the first time when they load into the game? Optional flight school. What would you add to this to the game to improve the new player experience? Start with you on that, Anna.
I think I know it sounds sarcastic, but I do think a tutorial would just help so much. Literally, and kind of you just lie in the bed and it's like, press Y to get up. You get up, walk up to the thing, press this to open the door. Just until you get to your ship, you fly off and then it stops. Just so that when a new player lands in the game, they're not feeling like, oh my god, what do? I don't want to play this because I don't know. And people come into my chat and they're like, I've just started the game. What am I doing? And if they don't have any friends that have got the game that can help them, then they're just going to turn it off. I feel like they would just turn it off because not everyone's got the patience to do that. Any other game, you turn it on and they're telling you how to use the game.
Mm-hmm.
So like Bumble, I'm assuming most people are using mouse and keyboard. I just think a very brief introduction as to like, hi, welcome, this is your bed, this is where we are, this is what you press, this is your inventory. This is how you put some clothes on, and then you can just be like, okay, I got this, and then you suddenly feel like you know what you're doing, and you want to explore it more. And I think a lack of that is very intimidating, probably for someone that has just jumped in with no experience.
Yeah, I would like to like echo that a little bit, because I think a lot of people
Mm.
say, well, I like the fact that it's not hand holding, which is fine, but there needs to be
Well,
at
it just needs
least
to
a
be hand
little.
holding.
It needs to be it needs to be an onboarding. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
I
it's
have
just
no idea what
onboarding.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what buttons to press. What am I supposed to do? Like, at least initially, where people can get the idea. And we all I think every gamer will make the joke about how every FPS starts with, how do you move WSY, WAS and D, to move your character around. It's like, yeah, we all know that. It's like, but someone doesn't. There's somebody this is their first person shooter, and they have never played this game before, so they need to have that information. So I get why it exists. But Eralia, what would you add to the new player experience to improve the game?
I think that Anna's idea, coupled with like the system that you spawn in, or like the planet that you spawn in, like Miss Babbage, who is actually voiced by Anna Demetrio, if you haven't checked her out, she's great. But anyways, like the AI system that is hosted to that planet, like walks you through. Like, if you guys ever played Borderlands, where there's like what was her name? She's like the AI that talks to you or whatever. Having someone hold your hand through the experience of being a new player that's like immersive to the world, so it almost feels natural. Like, hi, I'm like, welcome to New Babbage. I'm your your introducer, blah blah, all that. The onboarding consultant. Welcome. Blah.
Yeah.
I think that would be really neat. And I was actually going to give kudos to Plague Tale Requiem, which Anna Demetrio also starred in. Sophia. Haven't met her yet. But that game did an immaculate job at a tutorial.
The whole first level sequence is teaching you how to do it, but in a way that doesn't feel like it's spoon-feeding you, and you're still getting the story. You're getting taught how to play during the story. It's clever, yeah.
Isn't it like the kids playing a game in the first place?
Yes, they're playing hide and seek, and it's a stealth-based game. So if they were to maybe interact with you with like the AI that's the host station, like, I'm your pod helper, or like I'm your house person, just give you those tips that don't detract from the experience and don't like make new player or old players cringe, but make new players feel welcome. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. I would echo both of y'all's sentiments, because I've been a big fan of the idea of having a way that you get led to a spaceport, and in the spaceport you go into a pod. You have an option to go into a pod and go through like flight training school, like DMV but for space. Where you get like a quirky AI that's like, hey, welcome to the official UEE flight school. We're gonna have a blast. And blast off. The kind of the overly hello fellow kids kind of experience you expect from a government run facility.
And they could do that by taking away all the quests. So like when you open up your Moby Glass into the contracts, it's like the overlay that's kind of grayed out. It's like, welcome to your quests manager. This is where you'll find things to do. And then they take away all the basic ones that are overwhelming as hell to look at. Like, sorry, they just are when you first join the game. Yeah. And instead it's replaced by like mission, attend flight school, deliver package, like a few. And then you have the option in the bottom to like skip and be like, skip tutorial, no need, like expert pilot. But like otherwise, those are the only quests that you see to get indoctrinated into the game. So you're not staring at it like, oof.
Well, you bring up the AI thing. I was thinking that'd be a great idea of waking up and having like an AI who's talking to you, being like, welcome. This our records say this is your first time in
and it wouldn't feel out of place, because we're in the future, so it would feel completely natural, I think.
And having them kind of walk you through, like, would you like to know how to put on clothes? Like those little like those little like like, obviously this was recorded with a voice, and then they're just adding in random things, and which is a different tone to kind of like as if it was and
it can be optional, it shouldn't like if people, you can say no if you want to. There's a lot of games where it's like, do you want a tutorial or do you not? It doesn't force it upon you. It could be like, do you want to learn how to do this? Yes, no, you can go if you want, then fine.
Well, and the crazy thing is that Star Citizen used to have a tutorial, and I used to play it all the time. It was this very interesting kind of like overly machismo sort of like, there was this guy who showed up there, and if you didn't walk towards him, during the tutorial, he would say, hurry up, I got things to do. You better get over here. So we used to call him Grumpy Gilly because his name was Gilly, and he would just be sitting there being like, don't screw this up. And he would walk you through and he'd tell you all about how to fly. And it was all kind of, it was a very, like, there was a music that was like kind of a fake, like Top Gun sort of theme in the background. That was like the slow, like do, that kind of like beat in the background. And when that, when it was in, it was great. But the problem was the patch after it was introduced, flight completely changed. And so it broke the tutorial. So they've been really gun shy as to going back into tutorials. But it was a fantastic experience. If you have a chance, if you're watching this after the fact as well, look it up. People have recorded the full thing, so you can see the whole thing. It's pretty cool. But I agree with y'all. Like some sort of tutorial, skippable tutorial, leveraging sort of like a virtual assistant of some kind, and getting people to that front of like, this is how you fly a ship. Okay, now good luck. Here's the universe, sort of thing. To keep out the sensory overload of what can happen when you first get into a game. So,
yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Bumblebee, who asks, how do you pronounce HDMS Han? Is this I'm guessing this is an Anna joke?
This is actually both of us joke.
Both of you?
Yeah, this actually started the very first time Anna and I met. We streamed together, which was our very first time meeting, which is actually surprisingly not uncommon for streamers to meet when they play games, because we were just
that
busy.
Was the first time.
Yeah. And so that first time we actually decided to do timed box missions, because I was like, hey, Anna, I did this before on my own. Do you want to try it with me? And she was like, yeah, sure. Sounds great. What can go wrong? And by the end of the stream, we were, madly in love. No, I'm just kidding. We were getting
in
along.
love after also having about a bottle of wine each at that point, or half a bottle of wine.
Yeah. we were getting along really well, and we got pretty comfortable just like giving each other shit. And like, I think Anna was yelling, and she was like, one of us would be the navigator, the other like box taker, and the other one was the pilot. And it would be like, okay, navigator, where do we go? And she was like, HDMS Han. And I think I had a voice changer on that was really high.
We had the changer on, so it was HDMS.
Yeah.
Han. HDMS Han.
And it was just us. Go ahead, sir.
Han.
For like 20 minutes.
Brain break moments. I love those.
Yeah.
I've now added, I've got a BTTV emote that I've added. There's a public, by the way. Anyone can add it at any time, called HDMS Han. It just says HDMS Han.
I think we're the only two that have it, but
yep, just us,
fine.
But YOLO.
Yeah, there we go.
Just you and me.
Just you and me with the widespread Han.
Han.
You made it weird.
My other brain cell.
Oh, all right. Reeling this back in. Let's go to the next question. Next question is from Unknown Guardian, who asks, your favorite location in terms of visuals?
Orison. Yeah, I think it's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. It's annoying to get in and out of, and I think sometimes because of the flying in and out of it or whatever, it makes people not want to go there, so people don't go there very much. But Orison is just, it has to be the most beautiful place to be, I think. If we're just talking about space stations, if we're talking about moons or planets, maybe different, but just in terms of space station, Orison.
That's a good question. Is that Dooley answering or Anna?
It's my home.
The most beautiful place to Dooley is the inside of her ship.
Yes.
That's the only thing she sees.
I don't doubt it. It's the bottom of the coffee cup, because then she can get more coffee.
Literally that.
Yeah. Eralia.
I agree. Orison being the most beautiful space station, scenery, nature-wise, microtech, because of the diverse climates. And I'm sure biomes, I'm sure that'll change with the new systems and things that come out, but it's got like cold, it's got regular forest. It's got a nice mix.
I'm gonna break from a little bit and say Hurston, because there's some weird beauty in the junk, because you either have those junk biomes, but then you also have the savannas where it's just the nice rolling and there's the trees and that kind of stuff. When especially for like sunsets, it's perfect. I agree. The most beautiful place is Orison, and everyone would love it if it wouldn't take 20 minutes to get in and out of Orison. People would be there forever, but it's just, I don't know. I like Lorville. I think not Lorville, but Hurston, and that kind of very savanna, plains, grassland sort of feel to it. So,
if you ask me what my favorite sunset was, I would say Hurston. I don't think it's the most beautiful planet because I think it's stinky, but hands down, Hurston, I will tell anyone, has the most beautiful sunsets, and they've got that water, even if it's just like pollution. It's just, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Midnight Black SC, who asks, do you like how they've described the soft death system that's coming? Is there anything you'd change? Do you all know about the soft death system?
What is that?
So they recently just, I mean, this is something they literally talked about a couple days ago
I was like, we play this game more than
on a thread.
I play it every week, but I don't know anything about really the technical side. I don't follow the updates. I don't watch. I actually have no idea about the updates. My chat are telling me more about the game than I am, even though I play it.
So I'll describe it, and you feel free to do your thoughts on this. So the way that the game will play in 3.18 is, instead of your ship just exploding when your ship is destroyed, the ship 70% of the time your ship will have what's called a soft death, where your ship will just stop working. You can't turn on your ship. You can't fly. You're not dead. Your cargo's not dead. Everything's fine inside, but your ship is no longer a ship. It is just a floating piece of garbage. And 30% of the time your ship explodes, just when you reach that kind of 0 HP on the ship. So they're doing this because they want to allow for piracy to happen. So, when you destroy a ship, instead of it being destroyed, it's disabled and it's floating in space, and so people can go on and take all the cargo off if they wanted to. So what are your thoughts on the idea of this soft death system?
No.
I have questions. My first reaction was no. My second one was, I have questions.
My third one was no.
Yes, I need to know. Is it randomized? Is that 70 to 30 ratio? It's randomized. So there's randomized. Nothing you can do to change your... No. Okay, so it's random. That's great. Do you die?
No. Not when
so if there's
you just watch your belongings be taken from you.
Well, not necessarily. If your ship is disabled, you can still fight them. You can still fight off anyone who tries to come onto your ship, but all the doors are unlocked. So
it's like you've been EMP'd to death.
Yes.
You're just, everything's not functioning, and then they can like board you and stuff. Mm-hmm. Isn't that why EMP exists?
Yes, but it doesn't really work yet. It's kind of a stopgap until they can get that system up and running.
So until they fix EMP and shutting down ships, they're just gonna rant.
Yes, dice roll of a.
Is there any way out of it? Can you do anything to? Right. Yeah, or just something to stop it from happening.
Nope. Other than just not get killed, because the idea is that it's when your ship reaches 0 HP is when the
element of it being random doesn't feel any different to any of the other bugs that feel random. You know what I mean? Like you may as well have like elevator bug, 30% chance it's going to kill you, because it's the same thing. It's the same premise of like this adding more things that are like uncertain ways to piss you off that are completely random. Adding another one of those could be frustrating.
On purpose. It's not a bug though. They're doing this on purpose. I feel like it will mix in with all the other bugs to create another thing that's like, oh joy. I mean, from a selfish perspective, I think it's great. It's going to make me want to kill more people in game because it's going to bother people, and it's going to be funny if they get disabled, and then you can cause more chaos. You always keep always stay in your underseat. You can't really go out in your pajamas anymore in the off chance that their ship shuts down and you could have content. So it's definitely a way for me to have more fun selfishly, but unselfishly, I think it's dumb.
Yeah. I'm not going to really talk about it other than I understand where its purpose, but I think it's like a lot of things. It's a premature addition to try to to try to stop gap for something that's not done yet. It seems like like a lot of things where it's like they want to get this other aspect done, so they're going to do this little small addition to try to as a holdover, but then that holdover is going to last 2
They
years.
can trial it, right? They can trial
Yeah.
it, see how it goes down.
Yeah.
Like the mini chair, the mini chair that makes you a small.
Yes,
That
PTU.
trials.
Yeah, they can do PTU. It'll be in PTU, and they'll probably adjust it as it needs to be. But, all right. Next question comes from Gal, who asks, "What's the hardest part of the game to learn for you, or / is still hard for you to learn?"
The hardest part of what?
Of the game, part of this game to learn for you, or is still hard.
Oh God, the map, flying and shooting at the same time. The HUD in the ship. Sorry, maybe it's not called the HUD. What do you call
It's the
it?
HUD.
All of the buttons. Yeah, the HUD when you're flying.
Yeah.
Or the MFD. Or the HUD and the
Don't know every
MFD.
ship. I don't
What the fuck
understand
you
what
just-
all the things mean. Dimmy I think Dimmy might be in chat. Dimmy tries to help me with that all the time. I still don't understand. Like changing weapons out. Like, so I have absolutely no what I'm doing. Like switching out guns in ships, and I don't know what's going on in the ship, to be honest. I would rather, if I could just like fly in really basic terms, just like lift off, land, and then just walk around, I'd be more happy. But inside the ship is very complicated for me. Inside the ship.
So having a flight school would be something helpful for you. Like if you went through that initially and they taught you all what everything means rather than chat, just like trying to backseat game.
There's a lot of
or being helpful.
unnecessary. I feel like there's a lot of unnecessary visuals in the ship, actually. The things that you can actually interact with, the buttons that you can actually press, the things that you can actually do in the ship. There's only like maybe 3 or 4 things, and everything, but it looks so busy. It looks so busy that you just go, where the hell is everything? I don't know how to close the exterior. Where is it? Because there's 600 things like flashing in front of you. So I just think it could be cleaned up a little bit, maybe.
I think that's just for realism.
Yeah.
It's just even if it's not useful, like I understand removing it, but it's just to mimic reality, which is a crap ton of more buttons.
Yes.
So they've kind of dumbed it down, but they're not useful. So I agree with you there.
Eralia, what part of the game is still hard for you to learn?
Honestly, for someone that PvP'd and fought, I agree with Anna. Like I still agree that like operating all the screens and like power cycling and those like more the minutia, if you will, of the minutia of operating the aircraft. I just like flying and kicking butts, but there's a lot more to it than that. So that's something that I struggle with.
For me, what's hard to still learn is combat. I've never bothered to learn how to fly decoupled because I'm just like, everyone's like, you should fly decoupled. Ball. I'm like, I don't care. Like I know it's a meta strat, people doing it for learning. I'm like, I get to a point A to point B, I land, I do my thing, it's fine. But you know. All right. Jedi Menace asks, what's Anna and Aurelia's most memorable death?
Oh my God.
Aurelia?
You know, I just die so much.
Hold on.
I'm always in prison.
Your camera froze in the most contemplative.
Contemplative?
Yeah.
It's actually such a nice freeze frame.
Hold on. I'm refreshing
It could have frozen in such a different way.
Yes.
Because I don't move.
Yes. Go ahead, Anna. While we'll wait for.
Oh my God! I guarantee I've died more than Eralia. I'm sure that's what's difficult. I have so many to choose from.
Right.
It's probably been. I remember very clearly Sim Taurus crashing into me and blowing me up at a very, very inconvenient time. And that would have to be my most memorable death. There will be people in chat that remember this moment. Gallagher especially. We had spent probably 3 hours setting up to do something, and somebody in party just drove into me. and it ruined everything. And I was so because I'm not the kind of person to be mad at anyone for something that is super easy to do. Like the game is it's very easy to blow someone up in the game, right? But it was just I was so crushed, and I lost all morale for the rest of the stream after that.
I remember that.
Yes.
Aurelia,
Just that day.
you're coming in through twice. Make sure you're mute on the camera. On the
Done.
Okay,
Muted.
good. Yeah, you're good. Eralia, your most memorable death.
I've died so many times. I'm always like I said, I always just do dumb stuff and try to break the game in as many ways as possible. So like dying jumping off the tallest building in Hurston in like a ground vehicle, falling through the planet while doing Jump Town, like literally stepping in the wrong spot in the warehouse and just falling through the planet. Actually, that one reminds me of Clutcher. I think that I was doing a run once, one of my thousands, and I escaped from prison. I was waiting on my ride and all that. And as I was running outside, I think that there was like a terrain glitch, and I ended up falling through the planet as I was escaping on the outside. I was on the outside, like I was free. I was a free bird. And then, yep. Then I respawned back in my cluster hab.
Free falling.
I wasn't asked this question, but I'm going to answer real quickly because I was hanging out with Execute, who's another content creator. He was flying a ship, and we were talking to chat. It was during like a Ninetales lockdown, and like at the last moment where I was like, execute, there's a rock in front of us. There's a rock in front of us, and he's like, wait, oh shit, and he just hit the brakes, but it was going too fast because he was already at max speed on the Hammerhead. So it was just this, you could see that we're not going to stop in time, and he was desperately trying to brake as we're going right into right into the side of this asteroid. It was just like a slow motion tragedy. Like, this is going to end terribly. We're all going to die, but there's nothing we could do. And so we still give him shit about it. So, Unknown Guardian asks, getting jobs from a fixer at a cantina/mission giver office versus the Mobiglass. Which jobs should be on the Mobiglass and which not? So which kind of jobs would you want to be given from like a mission giver versus what should you get from the Mobiglass?
Delivery makes sense to be in person, so they can give you the box.
Okay.
I think.
My mind immediately went to The Witcher. I just started my Witcher 3 playthrough a couple of weeks ago, so I might not completely understand how things work, but I think any sort of contract, someone wants you to do something for them. I guess delivery would make sense in person, but like, yeah, contracts that are like extra for a couple bucks or whatever, I think should pop up like a Witcher board, like a posting in your thing that cycles semi-frequently. But then things that are a little bit more time consuming and intricate in person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about that as well. I think pretty much anything that is, I personally believe that pretty much all missions should be in person in some way, shape, or form. And that once you got to know a mission giver, they'll give you something through the mission board or through missions. But like,
or something like proximity related. So like if you're flying by something and it's like, quick, I just saw something on behind you. Please go help that situation. That even like a lot of games have that where you just run past something. There's a word for it. It's like
random
there's
encounters?
a word for it. Yeah. What did you say?
Random encounters.
Yeah, random encounters. Yeah, something encounter where it's like you run past, and if you run past it, it will never pop up again. You can only do it then. That would be fun to have on, like, just coming up on the tannoy or whatever. But otherwise, having in person, I think I agree. Most of them, I think it would make more sense to go visit the person that wants to tell you to do something, rather than it just be like an email.
Even box missions, like there's the trade and development office, which just happens, or trade and development division or whatever, something like that. It's those big, like the big globe looking things with TDD on it on some of the landing zones. Like I think originally those were designed as mission places. You just walk in, you look through the mission, through the job log, you take a job and you go. That makes a lot more sense. You have the facility there. You just go there and go into the job logs and get it. And it would also, it would make people go to the like landing zones to get those missions, but at the same times it would also make it a little bit more personal rather than just I just pulled open my glass and just mobile glass and just do what I want. So
It also takes away from people's time too.
yes.
The more you go in person, like the more people will get impatient. Maybe it'll be worthwhile, but just as like a lazy person, I think that, like getting on and doing a couple of missions where you don't have to go out to the person too could be good.
Yeah,
Maybe getting to know that NPC better. Yeah, I don't know.
I agree, but I think at least talking with an NPC first before you get that. So like you're working for Space UPS. The first couple of missions you're doing with Space UPS, you're going to want to talk to someone. But after a while, they'll just call you and be like, "Hey, we got a box you got to pick up over here. I trust you enough that you can do this on yourself." You know,
it's like rep based almost.
Yeah, something where it's a little bit easier. So you're just like the first couple ones are like, "Yeah, we're just going to give you this trial to see if you screw it up or not. And if you don't, then maybe we'll give you more, and it'll be more like a call-ups sort of thing."
We'd screw it up.
You constantly have to show up. You again, you know. Where's the last package I gave you? All right, next ship comes from Midnight Black SC, who asks, "What ship are you most looking forward to, and why is it the Corsair?"
The projection.
Yes. I'm looking forward to the Corsair just because I'm looking for it to be out. Like a lot of ships that are really, really desired. Like I like it, but I'm not that I'm not like, yes, it's the only thing I want. Just move on to the next ship. What is your favorite ship, Anna? And you know what the answer is, but some people don't know what it is.
It is the Drake Herald. I also like the Talon, and I also like the Mercury Star Runner. Those are my top 3.
Are there any other ships you're looking forward to, though?
There's one, I've forgotten the name, and I think chat did try and help me one time, and I've forgotten it again. There's a ship that's just basically a humongous like freight carrier. It's just got a flat back. It's much like a just a big long lorry, I guess. Well, you do call it lorry in America, do you?
No, it's truck, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Truck, yeah, like a flat back truck, and you just take stuff. What's it called? Is it called the Kraken?
There's a couple of them. There's the Kraken, there's the Liberator, and there's the Hull.
What you guys? People are saying the Kraken or the Liberator. It could be either of those things. It just looked fun. I mean, it's not something I'm going to be flying like loads, but it just looks like something I think could be really fun to just like pick up everybody and take them around. It just could be like a really fun bus thing.
Aurelia, what ships are you looking forward to?
You know, I don't really have any. That's kind of a boring answer, but I don't want to lie to you guys. I really like. I just play the game. I just play the game and. Sorry, what were you saying?
I say there's no ship that you're looking forward to. You just all the ships you have right now are what you're looking for, kind of thing.
I mean, so I play the game, I do things, and anytime a new ship releases and I try it, that's really cool and it's exciting. But I honestly end up gravitating towards the ships that I normally play with. So I won't know what ship I'm looking forward to until I see how it handles and I see how it will fit into the game. Like I don't have any expectations. So any expectations for the ships?
So Anna's it was the Kraken?
Yeah, I just Googled it. That's the thing. I hope that we can run around on top of it as well.
Oh yeah.
It could just be fun. Sightseeing, you know? Everyone could just have a party up there. Grab a drink, hot dog.
People have joked about that you can fit like 60 Nova tanks on that. So you can just fly around and just shoot tank blasts out of the top.
Amazing.
Yes. That's what we did with 890s. We stocked one tonk per 890 and took out a hammerhead. Tonk.
All right.
I'm now planning.
Next question is from Gin and Tonic, who asks, "Did Anna know that Dooley was born and raised in Orison?"
Oh, maybe at one point. Like you guys saying it today, it was like a refreshing memory moment.
Okay.
But it wasn't something I think about or remember very often.
Do they give you like a kind of quick background, any kind of like quick highlights of the characters before you do them?
Not really about her. If I asked, then yes, but they don't give me more. The more information they're giving me is about the context of my lines of what I'm saying. So it's all about the mission and why I'm telling the player what they're saying or what's going to happen and why the stakes are this. You know, it's all kind of situational stuff that they tell me in depth of. Less about her as a person.
Okay.
You may see her in IAE though.
Sweet.
This may or may not be mocapped. So, but yeah, we did a little bitty bob for that, which I've done recently, which hopefully shows a little bit more of a human side to her. I think, which is what we tried to do for that too.
And by human side, you mean her being married to her job and enjoying coffee.
Coffee and work. That's
Yes.
it.
All right. Arkisis asks, what is your favorite gang of pyro? I don't know if do you all know about the gangs of pyro at all?
No.
I know what Anna's least favorite.
You picked the
gang of
two
pyro.
wrong guests today.
Yeah, I know.
We don't look at the game. We play the game.
Astro's like, what's your favorite part of Star Citizen? And we're like, what?
I know what Anna's least favorite gang is, which is Xenothreat, because Xenothreat is the head of the is the top dogs of the pyro system. So,
Hot dog.
yeah. My favorite gang of pyro is the fire rats, and let me go on a little bit of lore here because hopefully you'll get to deal with them. This was a gang that was created by the community, and the keywords that were pulled out by the community was fire, cult, and cave dwellers. So they're a cave dwelling cult that walks around almost naked, worshiping the pyro sun and do rituals at peak moments of solar activity. And believe that there is a prophet that lives into the caves of pyro that tells them the future. So,
right,
Forest.
Yes,
the forest,
and they're a major gang in pyro. So you'll see them when pyro comes out.
Naked?
Yeah.
Will we see them naked?
Possibly.
Nice. Okay.
They strip naked and like soak up the full blasts of solar radiation when they happen intentionally. So as part of their like joining rituals. So yeah. That doesn't sound healthy. It's not. It's incredibly like they're probably going to be dead before they're 30. But like this is pyro. You're probably going to be dead before you're born. And
they were born in the darkness.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from Nutali, who asks, "Does ship size matter?" Yes. And if he or she told you it doesn't, they were lying to you. Of course it matters.
Of course, Newt would say that. Her daily driver is a hammerhead.
Oh my god, yeah. The hammerhead's just everywhere, always.
All right. Unknown Guardian asks, rentable apartments? For an example, ArtCorp is in different areas, 18, 19, 20, and super fast trains between locations on the planet. Yes, I think that's planned to be able to have your own permanent like place. Would you want to have?
Idea. Yeah.
Would you want to have a rentable apartment? If you were to
get add to immersion.
If you were to get a rentable apartment, which landing zone would you get it at? Orison.
Yeah, because I want to be there more, but I find Microtech easier to leave and arrive at. So I feel like it would be nice to have a place somewhere else, but not permanently. Or like somewhere I could either just like buy or choose to be.
Aurelia?
I don't know what I'm saying.
I've been sitting here trying to think, but unfortunately the only thing that comes to mind is Grimhex, because that's the only place I am. Cluster, my own rentable pod.
Yeah, a rentable prison cell.
CIG, you need to have a sign on a hab that just says Eralia's personal loft or something like that.
Or like my name etched into one of the
bedposts
somewhere random.
Yeah. Yes.
Fine.
They've already acknowledged you to the Queen of Fleischer. There should be something in there, just as like Eralia's pad or something like that,
or like a really derpy drawing of a red panda, like a 5-year-old drew it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that I don't know where I would be, but I think the concept is neat, and you could put memorabilia there, so things you collect, loot, and that would add a lot more meaning to like the place that you have in game. But I'm also like a slut for decor in game.
Oh yeah.
And customization.
Personalization. I mean, every MMO, the end game of every MMO is fashion. Fashion is always, and like customization is always the end result of all MMOs, because that's why people play online to hang out. They want to personalize and show off their creativity. So,
Yeah.
Rajman asks, what do you want more, working map or non-deadly elevators? Because we've all heard Eralia's rant about the map.
No, the map. I want the map more. I'll die in the elevator 10 times if I could just have a map that works properly.
I agree, actually. I think the elevator is, while annoying, isn't nearly as annoying as the map being absolutely unfunctional. Just not, or that's not a word. Non-functional.
Dysfunctional.
Dysfunctional. It sucks. The map sucks, and it's inexcusable. It needs to be better. I know they're working on it, but yeah, 100%. Eralia, which one to be, the map or the non-deadly elevators?
You knew you opened a can of worms when you asked this question, because you know that I have vehemently opposed the current way that the map is. I have a rant on it that's very in depth, but the highlights are, it does not work for a multitude of reasons. You click on where you want to go, and half the time you can't click on where you want to go at all because it doesn't allow you to mark that location and pin to it and go there. And then the other half of the time, when you try to go to that location that you sometimes can pin, sometimes can't pin, it clips you through a planet. So it's just dumb and stupid, and I hate it.
And I think you're not alone. I think most people hate it. It's like family, you know. You tolerate them. You don't necessarily you try to love them, but you don't always do. Sometimes you just tolerate them. Or I don't know. That's a bad analogy. It's you get used to it, but doesn't get any better. Like, you can get used to how to function the map. You both know what I'm talking about. Like, you learn
Is
the
that abuse?
intricacies. I guess so. It's like a bad. It's like a terrible relationship. It's like a abusive relationship with that map. Like, you tolerate it. You learn to use it, but you never really like it. I don't know.
But you can't get rid of it.
You can't get rid of it. No. All right. Next question comes from Ionic Gecko, who asks, what's your favorite thing to do currently in Star Citizen? And what do you think will be your favorite thing in, say, 2 to 3 years? What's your favorite thing to do currently, Anna?
I like dropping vehicles from a high height and seeing if they explode.
I actually enjoy that too.
It sounds silly, but that's genuinely one of my favorite things to do right now. We have sometimes streams where we just go off topic and we stop doing the ratings and we just drop something out of atmosphere and see if it blows up. But yeah, something like that. I like exploring parts that I've not quite seen before, or finding the Easter eggs. I love doing bits and bobs like that. In 2 to 3 years, hopefully, it'll be, again, like the missions will be more urgent and more exciting. So I would be looking forward to the missions more in 2 to 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Easter eggs, a little bit. I haven't done too much of that, but I did it one time a few weeks ago and I had a blast. It was an accident. I didn't know there was one at Grimhex, but that was cool. So I might do more of that. And then bounty hunting. That's been fun. Wait a second. I completely forgot my new favorite thing in Star Citizen that I've been doing since last weekend. Wait a minute. Star Marine. I exclusively play Star Marine. Yes, like, this is outside of live. I have been loving Star Marine. Holy crap, it is so fun. It's like team deathmatch in Star Citizen. I group up with my viewers. We will get in there. We'll community it up. We'll just try to kill each other, smack each other. It is so fun. I have spent hours in Star Marine for literally no reason the last 2 weekends.
Star Marine is one of those things that a lot of people don't realize is, and Marine Commander, that have gotten a lot of work done on them, and they're much better. They're not perfect, but they're a lot better than they used to be. And now they have a dedicated team building it. So, like, and for instance, there are 9 new racing maps coming in 318. 9 new racing maps, all of which will be in the PU, and I think also in Arena Commander. So, like, they take those sections of the game and they put them into Arena Commander as well for you to use. So it's like, wow, okay. y'all been putting in some work that we didn't realize existed. Okay. So yeah, I get that. My favorite thing to do is to serve drinks at a bar. I've been doing that recently where I've been just open up the pub and I've been role playing it where like I actually
That's
open up my
nice.
600 and people come in, we do a little role play and, get drinks, that kind of stuff. And every so often we'll do a pub crawl where I'll gather everyone together and we'll go to every single bar in the Stanton system, all the named bars, and get a drink. And because it's fun to sometimes just sit there and be like, wow, this bartender barely works. It takes 15 minutes, and like shout at the bartender, be like, what are you doing, buddy? I'm here. I'm right here. Because you'll be surprised how much entertainment you can get out of standing still and trying to wait for the bartender to get their attention, and then just completely ignoring you and serving literally everybody else but you for like 20 minutes.
It's like real life.
It's like real life. Like what's going on here? What did I do? And at one point, Nick, who's in chat, was hanging out and decided to role play. We decided to see if you could, because it was a mistake. We decided to see if you could, while in-game intoxicated, jump from the stairs of the 400i to the little like rover bay, the little like bay, the front bay of the 400i, while in the atmosphere of Crusader. The answer is no, you can't do that because you will fall off the edge and not reach the other side. But it didn't stop us from trying twice.
Whilst intoxicated.
Yes, whilst in-game intoxicated. Right. So your character is like swaying back and forth and that's that sort of thing.
Huh.
Yeah. The other thing we've been doing is relic hunting. We'll go to the little blasted out, what are they? Outposts that they added in the last patch, and you can find little artifacts like war medals and gold bars and like alien artifacts that are just they randomly spawn inside of the loot table. So we've been going there and just looting for artifacts. They actually have no value whatsoever, but it's cool to find these like really rare items that only pop up once in, maybe 10 or 20 times you actually go there. So, yeah.
Nice.
All right. Next question comes from Qpan, who asks, how is everyone today? How are y'all doing today?
I'm good.
Good?
I think I speak for Eralia too, and I think we're both doing a lot of things at the same time. So we're both often quite sleepy, but yeah, we're good. I think. How about you, Eralia? You good? You're smiling. You're nodding.
Yep. I'm actually on cloud nine. Like I mentioned, I think this was before we started recording at all, but I have not been home because of work. I've been to like 3 different states in the last month or 2 on different jobs for work, and then TwitchCon, which was a blast, but that was still like very busy. So I am literally so freaking happy to just come home and close to the weekend be able to freaking sit down and play a video game. Something that might not seem like such a luxury, but frick, like getting to just sit. I accidentally have been like streaming / gaming, whatever, for like 8 to 10 hours a day, just because it is so nice. So yeah, I've had a great day. It's been a great day. I gamed all day. No complaints.
Good. I'm doing all right. My wife and I were just talking about some things that it's a long story, but we ended up with another desk because she got a new job where she's working from home most of the time. So we bought a desk and it wasn't showing up on time. So we bought another desk, and then they sent the first desk. So now we have 2 desks. So we're talking about what to do with a desk, and we decided that, why don't we set up a desk down in our living room so we can, both paint minis together because we both paint like little miniatures for like D&D and Warhammer and that kind of stuff. So
I could never.
You could never paint with Aurelio, is what you're saying? Or
no, I could paint just the miniature. Oh my god, I would like lose my marbles. It's like building Gundams. It's so small and like
yes. Is very complicated.
Hulk
trying to paint
smash
the tiny stuff.
Eralia smash.
But yeah, so we've been good. We like spent most of the day like moving bookshelves around and getting that all set up. So, but it's been nice to do that. So, all right, next question. Do something other than content creation, because that's what I've been doing for the last week, is preparing for IAE and writing scripts and recording things. So. It's been like something not having to do directly with that has been nice. Arxis asks, what is your favorite company in Star Citizen? I think it's just, Arxis, you're just asking me these questions because I don't think either Eralia or Anna, well, I guess maybe. Favorite company in Star Citizen? Eralia. Drake. Anna?
I guess. I mean, everything I seem to like, everyone says that I must love Drake. So yeah.
Yeah, Kraken's Drake, the one that you're looking forward to.
Yeah.
The Herald is Drake.
But
Yeah.
there's some nice, like, one-person luxury little ships that Origin do that I really like. I think they're really nice.
Mhm.
I like Drake is my favorite, but other than Drake, it would be Castak Arms, just because Castak Arms is the most sleazy company in the lore. They're absolute sleazeballs. But they don't care. Like they just don't hide it. Like they're the kind of people who will sell gun. They're a guns company. They're weapons and armor company. They'll sell weapons and armor to both sides in a war and admit it and be happy about it. Like be like freedom. I could sell. Like they are the most. Freedom. They're the most Texas company because their whole, like, even in lore, they got questioned about their questionable practices in front of the Senate. And they were just like, I'm sorry. I thought I had freedom. I'm selling security and safety to the people of this universe that you're not giving them. So don't get mad at me when your people don't do their jobs and they come to us and just walk out of the like that sort of, just that moment when I read that in lore was just like, I love you. You are so horrible and you're a piece of shit, but I love you in so many ways. Literally selling both sides weapons to both sides of the conflict and somehow comes up as like a spit blood or a spit shine perfect. So and they make the Coda and the Karna and the Custodian. They also make a lot of those weapons. So the armor that that you see with Nine Tails and the other like outlaw groups. So Qpan asks, are there any ships you're looking forward to? Actually, we already talked about that, so I'm gonna skip that one. Who's your favorite NPC so far, and why is it Tessa Bannister? Do either of you know who Tessa Bannister is?
Is she the other dominant voice actress from the olden days?
Yes.
Yeah, I think. I never heard her voice before. I've heard about it though.
Yeah. Who's your favorite NPC so far? I'll just say that.
Like Walter White, who lives under Grimm. What's his name?
It's
Walt?
not me.
Oh.
How dare you?
Oh gosh, Wallace Klim. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I literally don't know any other NPCs but Anna. I just know that Walter Willie, whatever his name is, lives under there, and he sells you slam or something. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, Anna's on, so we all have to say Dooley, but you know, it's the rules.
I prefer Miss Babbage to Dooley sometimes, I think.
You've heard the conspiracy about Miss Babbage, right?
Maybe.
So in this universe of Star Citizen, AI is outlawed. So like true AI is banned. And the conspiracy theory that a lot of people have is that Miss Babbage is a real AI, is a true like artificial sentient intelligence, and that our Microtech is hiding it because they're experimenting with it.
Oh my god,
So,
you thought of this?
Lots of people have a lot of people have been thinking about that since this is a lot of people. Whenever I mention that, people go, "Wait, is Miss Babbage real? Is she actually an AI?" So that good stuff. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I will actually go against the grain a little bit and say my favorite character is my favorite NPC is what's his name? I always forget his name, but he's a mercenary. The mercenary guy. He was one of the first NPCs, character or mission givers. Who Miles Eckhart, thank you, Miles Eckhart. Just because he has that, like when you go to him now in Loreville to talk with him, you stare at him, he'll go, "You looking for somebody?" And it's got this kind of attitude towards him, which is like, yeah, I like you. Same reason I like I tend to like a lot of sleazeballs in Star Citizen. I don't know what it says about me.
It's like liking Queen Cersei from Game of Thrones, liking the anti-hero just because they're interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
He comes across as this like, I'm going to do jobs because they pay me. Sometimes they're legitimate, sometimes they're not legitimate. I'm not going to care too much. So that's what I kind of like that. All right. Next question comes from Newt, who asks, there's been a lot of sentimental vibes with mental shocks passing and the ideas of honoring backers who are no longer with us in game. Something like Riker Memorial Spaceport. But beyond that, there's something truly magical about the Star Citizen community with how welcome and warm it can be. Have either of you experienced something like the SE community before? Because I have not, and I keep running into new friends. Have either of you experienced anything quite like the Star Citizen community before?
No.
No.
I wouldn't be here without the Star Citizen community. So it's something I always say, actually, that it's when people come in and go, oh, what's this game about? You know, I always talk about the community almost first, because that's the thing that feels the most different than any other game. It's really, 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 really special.
I think
Agreed.
I personally have never experienced this community. This is going to sound weird, but same. I wouldn't be here without Star Citizen community. I started doing content for Star Citizen back in like 2016, and I wouldn't have gotten my Twitch partnership. I wouldn't have been able to go to TwitchCon. I wouldn't have been able to be here, meet people like yourselves and so many other people, not just in Star Citizen, but other games, developers, people I've known now for years who've been friends just because of Star Citizen. And I've never experienced that in any other community, anywhere I've been to. There's just nothing like Star Citizen community. So,
Yep.
All right. Hey, it's Nick asks, for each guest, what's your favorite thing about the other guests? That's a good question.
Aww.
No. I'll start, if that's
ahead.
okay. Paul, I like your dedication. You're not a guest, but you're the host, and I'll start with you because you do something not something that I see a lot. I'm sure it's somewhere like on the stinky parts of Reddit, like the deep dark trenches of Reddit, there's lore and stuff, but you do something that not a lot of people do. And I love that it ties into directly what you do on the outside of content creation. You're very passionate about it, and it resonates to us because like you put it in a way that someone who a simple-minded peon such as I, but no, like someone who doesn't do lore, you make it understandable for us and you make it interesting for us. So that's what I like about you. And then for Anna, you know, I could write novels about Anna, but I love like the two things that I admire most about Anna are her kindness, just genuinely like she can light up a room. I think that I've never met her, but you know, online world-wise, I think that she lights up any space that she is in. And her community knows that. All communities know that she is like she's just a star. I don't know how else to frame that. And then
Please
the second thing,
don't make me cry live
Stop.
at 1 a.m. Please.
Stop. And the other thing that it ties into her like her shine of her just inner self is her work ethic, like her dedication, her work ethic, not only to like her actual job and the things she applies herself towards, but her work ethic towards like her relationships, like her partner, her friends, her family, her partner's family, and flying them out for Christmas. Just like, yeah, those are the two things that I admire most about Anna.
Oh my God, I love you. Stop.
Shut up. You like how I just had those on a flashcard ready? Like
Just
I just
ready.
to keep that in
Boom.
my pocket. Like,
I'll start with the next one. Eralia, you're new to the community-ish, but you've swam into the community to a point where you have this great sense of like professionalism and utter chaotic gremlin creature that mixes well with the community. And I recognize it because like I know a lot of friends in the military and stuff like that. It's that my father-in-law was in the Navy. It's that there's this side that a lot of people in the military get where it's just like, I'm gonna break things because it's fun, or I'm just gonna go nuts. Like this is my switch that I can go crazy for. I also say your dedication to be able to have a partner, a job, a master's degree, while getting a master's degree and being in the military all at once and streaming. I don't know how you sleep. Like, how do you do any of this?
Neither do I.
Like, that's insanity to me. Doing all these things and being able to like stream while you're going out and working for other things, that's nuts. Your dedication to your craft is commendable, and also keeping personal relationships up is impossible. For those of you who don't really understand about content creation, that's like, talk to any content creator who's in a relationship, and they'll tell you that that's one thing they almost never have enough time for is their family, and they have to force themselves to make time for their family. So the fact that you make time for your significant others and your family is amazing. And Anna, you are, I don't even know how to put it in a proper way. I have never seen someone who was just part of it, working, you've taken a thing which was just a job. It was a paycheck that got you a job. And you threw yourself wholeheartedly into the community that a way I've never seen anyone do in any other capacity. I don't think there's a single actor out there who done something like that. And just your genuine enthusiasm. And every time you've posted about anything about Star Citizen or even other games, like your tweets about Plague Tale have been like, I don't know how to put it. It's vicarious. It's this nice kind of like, because you genuinely care about the games you do your work in and come into the communities and try to interact with it, which is nice. It's a nice refreshing case where there's so many actors out there who it's a paycheck. They come in, they do their job, they leave. But for you, it's obviously not. It's more than that. It's the experience. You really care about it, and you really care about the people who are making it and in playing it. So that's really nice. So.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Coming from a gamer background, this doesn't ever feel like, being in games never feels like work, and I feel like I'm involved in a very kind of kid in a candy shop way. So, and I don't think that will ever go away. I don't think that will ever go away, really. Back to you, sir, please.
Okay.
I think you are an incredible host, and I think, I've been very lucky to be on a lot of different a lot of creators in the Star Citizen world have interviewed me for different reasons, and you are extremely easy to be around, and it doesn't ever feel like anything. You've managed to make it kind of professional without feeling formal, and you've done everything that you've built on the show here. I think is really special, and people love you for it, and I think you should be really proud of this show in general. Just that's you, okay, sir.
Thank you.
And Eralia, I just can't think of anything, which is a shame. But I'm joking. I love you so much.
All right, I gotta cut the tape.
Listen, I actually can't even know where to start. But something I love about you, right, is that you are so open you're an incredibly open person, right? I know sometimes for work you have to be less open, but if you could, you would be. The only thing that stops you not being so open is literally like a contract. But everything else about you is such an open book. You are so non-judgmental of everybody around you. You embrace everybody else for exactly who they are and don't project or wish anything away from anybody. You give everything 100%. You don't even give anything 75%. If you decide to do something, it is 100. It is 100, and that's why I don't know how you sleep. And I just love how much you pour your effort into your friendships, and you support me and everyone, and I love you, and you're also gorgeous.
I love you too. Yeah, I didn't mention that because honestly, no, I'm just kidding. Oh, you're beautiful as well, inside and out. Thank you so much.
I will add one more thing that's the best part about Eralia. I got to see her drift a tank and kill someone in a competition, and I've never seen someone drift a tank and get a kill shot with it outside of a movie.
I learned that IRL.
Yeah, it's just something it's not even the Air Force. It's not even in the Air Force. It's what they teach you in Ukraine. They teach you how to drift tanks.
I keep a T-72 in my backyard.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from Gal, who asks, favorite in-game snack and food? Hot dogs.
Dually.
Hot dogs. It's 1:00 in the morning and Anna is broken. You have broken Anna.
I'm literally delirious at this point. That has destroyed me. I'm gonna go double dog. And what was the other question?
Snack or food, in-game snack or food.
Yeah, double dog, hands
Double dog.
down.
All right. This is the last Gal question, who asks, what do you think about, instead of prison, they force red players to help new players?
Wait,
Oh, no,
repeat?
that would not work. They wouldn't want
Criminals to help new players. Instead of going to prison, they force them to be like tutorial buddies, like sending over. He says Kappa at the end of it.
I feel
this
like
would be a terrible
not
idea.
everyone would want to be a teacher. Not everyone has that instinct. They would just
I
be
would-
like, fuck this.
I would teach them to do crime.
Crime.
Perfect opportunity for
Have-
more chaos. You recruit the younglings.
Have y'all seen Super Troopers?
Yeah.
You know at the very beginning when he gets in the car and goes, "You all boys like Mexico?" That's what I would do with a new player. I would just be like, by the way, we're about to do a crime. Here's a gun. Good luck. Go get him, Tiger. Here's a pistol.
Dude, honestly, a better usage of their time would be picking up space debris. Like, you know how you can do reformative things where you like clean up your environment? Like they would have to go out and clean up shipwrecks. Like that's kind of,
Community
I know there was a
service.
Kappa, but
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a useless, more useful way to spend their time.
All right. Rogue Ice asks Anna, what is your favorite Miss Babbage joke? Do you remember any
Moby
of the
Do you
jokes?
Jack.
remember them?
The
Oh,
Moby
Moby-
Gas one.
Ah.
Love that.
All right.
Definitely.
Next question comes from Gin and Tonic, who asks, since we're talking about experience, this is the last one. Since we're talking experience in Star Citizen, do you think the community itself is an experience that you could use to recommend the game to others? Would you use the community itself as a recommendation to be part of the game?
If someone was an MMO diehard and has come from, I don't know, something like League where the community is less like that, then maybe it would be like an incentive. You could be like, hey, look, if you like MMOs, this game, everyone's got your back. It's, you could, I think so. Yeah. I think, yeah.
I will say there is no game where a pirate will sit there and teach you how they pirated you.
Yeah.
Because I have seen it
Yeah.
happen. I've seen it happen multiple times where someone got pirated, keep getting pirated, and it's just like, how are you doing this? You're cheating. And they're like, no. let
I
me teach
blew
you."
up someone's 890 on yesterday and they sent me a friend request. So like, I mean, that is Star Citizen.
I'm not even mad. Yeah, I'm not even mad. What do you think, Eralia?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that me and Anna can speak to this both, or Anna and I could speak to this both, that like when we talk about Star Citizen, she mentioned earlier saying that community is one of the first like top 3 things that you bring up. So yeah, wholeheartedly for all the reasons that both of you mentioned.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. This is the last question. Thank you, Eralia and Anna, for coming join us. Make sure you check out their content at this unhinged, cracked episode of the Q&A for Captain Stable, and with all the feels. That was the most emotional Captain Stable I think I've ever been on. And,
Oh my god, it got emotion.
but yeah, make sure you check them out. And if you are watching this after the fact, go back and watch the first part, and join us live at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on
And
Saturdays.
YouTube, if I look tired in that video, I just want to say I'm sorry. It's 1 a.m. I'm not tired because of Paul or because of anyone else. I'm just saying, sorry, YouTube, carry on.
It's whenever we have someone from the UK on, it's always like, I know they're going to be half asleep by the half of it because it's either 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning when it's done. So,
Anna doesn't sleep, but she is a gremlin after a certain hour and doesn't socialize. She will stay up, but she doesn't have to like talk, you know.
It's
Yeah.
You don't
social energy. It's weird. Yeah, like I'm awake a
Mhm.
lot, but I'm not necessarily talking that whole time.
Mhm.
So I realize how much yeah. But it's been so much fun. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm just saying thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry if I look sleepy. That's all.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sleepy. It's 6 p.m., so thanks for having me. I'm always sleepy, as you guys alluded to. So, alluded.
But like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.